Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's City Council meeting and Committee of the Whole meeting. The City Council meeting is called to order. I kindly ask our City Clerk to please take the roll call.
Bruno.
Here.
Burkhart.
Here.
Clements.
Here.
Ruby.
Here.
Caven.
Here.
Kilberg.
Here.
Maladra.
Here.
Marks.
Here.
McGowan.
Here.
Swanson.
Here.
A full house this evening, folks. We begin our City Council meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to ask a gentleman who is one day older than he was yesterday, celebrated a birthday. He's already standing, Alderman Richard Marks. Thank you, sir. Technically, we're all one day older, is that what you said? How was your birthday, Rich?
It was fun. It was very nice.
Good. Get any good gifts? Care to share?
Nice calls from my kids.
That's all that matters. And the grandkids?
Yep, and she was in the background. You could hear her.
Life is good, man.
Life's good.
That's all that matters. Item 3, folks, new business or public comment. Anyone with us this evening who has anything they'd like to share with the council or ask of the council? A warm welcome to our Boy Scouts tonight. Item 5, folks, amendments to the agenda. Any amendments this evening? Item 6 is the omnibus agenda. All items marked with an asterisk are considered to be routine, can be considered and voted upon with one motion. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Alderman Bruno makes that motion.
Second.
Alderman Ruby makes the second. Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Clements.
Aye.
Ruby.
Aye.
Caven.
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye.
Maladra.
Aye.
Marks.
Aye.
McGowan.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Bruno.
Aye.
Burkhart.
Aye.
Item number 6, the omnibus agenda passes with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 absent, otherwise known as unanimous. Item 11, municipal bills for payment. We kindly ask our city clerk to read the bills in their aggregate for our consideration.
Total bills are $3,235,291.75.
Mayor, I move that we approve and pay the bills as read. The individual items that add up to that amount can be found in tonight's city council packet on the city website.
Alderman Bruno makes a motion to pay the bills as presented, which are also available on the city's website and in our packets, and includes the gift for Alderman Marks.
I didn't see that.
Is there a second? Second by Alderman Clements. Any questions or comments regarding the bills for payment? Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Ruby.
Aye.
Caven.
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye.
Maladra.
Aye.
Marks.
Aye.
McGowan.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Bruno.
Aye.
Burkhart.
Aye.
Clements.
Aye.
Motion passes with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 absent.
It's not on the agenda.
Folks, Scouts are going to join us for the next meeting as well? The enthusiasm, you can almost taste it. It's palpable. Any questions that you would like to ask of what you just witnessed here? Otherwise, you can hang out for the next meeting as well. You chose a good meeting, man. Okay, a motion to adjourn would be in order. Alderman Marks makes that motion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned from the council meeting. We will begin the committee of the whole meeting in less than 30 seconds. Without objection, folks, we will commence with the committee of the whole meeting. Let the record show that all the members of the committee are present this evening, and looking forward to vigorous discussion. Scouts, this is almost unfair to ask you if you have any questions or comments yet, because we haven't done anything, so we're going to reserve that to the end. How's that sound? Good? And you're here all to earn your communications merit badge, is that right? Fantastic. Item 3, approve regular committee of the whole minutes from January 6, 2019, and special committee of the whole minutes from January 13, 2020. That's a typo, folks. It should be January 6, 2020. Otherwise, we have a whole year gap in approving minutes, and that would be unacceptable. So January 6th, 2020, and January 19th, 2020, 13th, excuse me. Is there a motion? This is communications badge, folks. Watch carefully what happens. Alderman Clements makes the motion,
Second.
second by Alderman Bruno. Any questions, any comments? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Items of business, item 4A is to consider draft ordinance amending Title IV, Business and License Regulations, Chapter 2, Liquor Control, Section 4-2-1, license classifications, and 4-2-13 license fees and number of licensees related to the Class A5 specialty packaged liquor license. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Marks. Seconded by Alderman Swanson. This matter's on the floor. Ms. Dawkins, a brief summary, please.
Sure. We received a request from Niche Restaurant to amend the Class A5 license to allow the package sale of spirits by the bottle only. They are also offered for retail sale and consumption on the premise with a meal. The draft ordinance includes the language with an adjusted percentage of total sales and fee, and the Liquor Commissioner has reviewed the request and recommends approval as presented. I believe Vince Ballestieri, the general manager and owner of Niche, is present this evening, so if you have any questions for him, I'm sure he'd be happy to entertain those.
Any questions for either the city administrator and/or Mr. Ballestieri? Alderman Burker and Mr. Ballestieri, if you could join us at the podium, sir. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Can you talk to us about the motivation,
Blame
behind
everybody, we just said it.
this request?
Yeah, well, we don't really advertise the wine or beer that we do have, but we've had a lot, so we've kind of taken off as a whiskey bar, and we've been getting people we even had people last week from Tennessee, and they're coming up, and I go down to Kentucky about 4 to 5 times a year and pick single barrels, which become rare because it's not part of the blend and everything, and people are asking all the time to just purchase the bottles for to go. And I mean, that was pretty much it. People are like coming up and asking for them. We didn't want to advertise or really do anything like that, which we really haven't done with the beer because Safeway and other people, it's not our game. We're a restaurant first. It's just these bottles are pretty unique and special, and a lot of local people and people coming from all over that are coming to Niche to try our food or our really rare whiskeys are asking for, each barrel contains like 180 bottles, but just asking for one here and there, and I thought
You just weren't able to sell them under the
not
current
able to
license?
sell the booze to go.
Gotcha, okay.
And I didn't know with like, with other cities opening 'em up and allowing restaurants to do that, or just how it works with food, or if there was like any rules with that.
Okay, that was exactly my question, like if you envision this as people who are dining and wanted to take some of
Last
those,
thing we
maybe
wanted-
some people come in, but,
The last thing we want to do is be like a liquor store. We were just like, just looking, for us, they'd be like extra revenue and also benefit for the customers and people that want it.
and are you pleased with how this is structured? Does that work for you, what's proposed tonight?
Yeah, absolutely, yep.
All right.
Yep.
Very good, all right, thank you.
Anyone else from the dais? Would it be appropriate, Mr. B, would you like to share the exciting news that you shared with me regarding the recognition you received, or should we keep that quiet?
Oh, no, that's fine, yeah, another
Now,
thing.
check
that-
this out. This is huge news, folks, so this
Well-
is worth celebrating, and
Yeah, we got named one of the top 50 whiskey bars in America, which is kind of cool for
that something?
Geneva. And recently, I mean, I was just bringing up a lot of accolades to Mr. Burns, just kind of being there for 14 years, and we're going through a restructure right now, and, being on Check Please was really big for our restaurant and brought a lot of people to the city, and we got news being the highest rated restaurant in this area and tied with V in all of the suburbs, so that was huge news for us. And then
Amazing.
Phil Vattel's doing an article on us right now too,
Ooh,
which, yeah, hopefully is good.
yeah,
But,
right.
yeah, so we try to, yeah, we love being in Geneva. We try to bring people here with our reputation, so,
top 50 in the country.
yeah, for bourbon, yep.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, I hope the trend never dies. Yeah, 'cause it's been really, really good, and we're up to over 600 whiskeys now.
Really?
So, yep, so, and there's more to be had, so we'll do that. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here tonight.
Anyone else on the dais? Thank you, Vinnie. Any additional questions? Otherwise, we have a motion and a second on the floor. A simple voice vote will suffice. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Item 4B, as in boy, is to consider draft resolution authorizing the transfer of funds in the amount of $439.35 from the City of Geneva Cultural Arts Commission, a commission fund, to the Geneva Foundation for the Arts. Forgive my eyes tonight, folks, sorry about that.
So moved?
Motion by Alderman Burghardt,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Bruno. Ms. Dawkins.
Sure. The Art Guild, which is a subcommittee of the Cultural Arts Commission, believes their mission is better served by joining the Geneva Foundation for the Arts. The commission supports this plan as it is a shared goal to have an arts center in Geneva, and the business plan for an arts center has identified the Art Guild as an important participant in the educational and operational aspect of an arts center. As such, the Cultural Arts Commission chairman has requested a transfer from the Cultural Arts Commission to the foundation. The amount is the balance of the Art Guild's contributions on the fund minus expenses. The commission voted in favor of this request at their regular meeting on December 5th. We have ED Director Kathleen Timoshenko here this evening if you have any additional questions.
Any questions for either the city administrator or our economic development director? Seeing none? Hearing none? Sensing none? All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Item 4B passes unanimously. Item 4C is to consider draft resolution declaring surplus property, fire department vehicles. Whew. Ms. Dawkins, motion, please. Motion by Alderman McGowan, second by
Second.
Alderman Burghardt. Ms. Dawkins.
Sure. So as you're aware, as we buy new vehicles, we surplus old vehicles. In this particular case, Public Works bought new vehicles. They didn't technically surplus their vehicles. Their vehicles moved down to our emergency management team, and that's the vehicles we're now asking to be surplused. They include a 2005 and 2008 Chevy Impala. It only gets better. A 2000 Ford Crown Vic, and a 1998 Dodge Ram Laramie, which I'm not even sure what that is. So we joked earlier today that some of these vehicles might actually be ready for the antique license plate, so we might want to surplus them before that happens. So if there's any questions, Chief Antonori is with us this evening.
The Laramie does receive John Records Landecker live on AM station, so remember that name, Dean? Yes. Questions or comments for the chief or city administrator? Seeing none, here, Alderman Kilberg.
How are we going to service CMA then? Do we have some other vehicles that we're going to roll down to them?
Yes, as Stephanie indicated that as the Public Works is getting new vehicles, we're getting newer, their older vehicles are much newer than our old vehicles. So we've gotten 2 of them so far, and we're getting 2 more to replace these, which are between 15 and 22 years old. So we already have 2 of them in service, and we used them for the women's event this weekend. And we'll get another 2 within a month or so.
So 3 or 4 vehicles usually meets their needs?
Yeah, 4 good quality vehicles will be fantastic compared to what we have today. A couple of these have the added benefit that the trunks leak and they look like hot tubs when they fill up in the back, so we want to turn those in.
What would be some of the applications? How would they use these vehicles? I know for parades and some of the events in town that are...
Predominantly, these vehicles are used for a couple things. For planned events such as Swedish Days, Festival of Vine, blocking intersections, storm nights, they go out and watch for the storms. Unplanned call-outs, usually to support the police and fire department for both fires and major accidents, where they provide lighting and traffic control, which frees up officers and fire vehicles to do other activities. And these will provide them safe, better lit, much more modern vehicles for their volunteer work. So.
Good, thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else on the dais? We have a motion, we have a second. A voice vote is sufficient. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Item 4D, as in David, is to consider draft resolution authorizing the execution of a limited access license agreement with the Forest Preserve District of Kane County. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Alderman Clements makes the motion.
Second.
Second, with enthusiasm, Alderman Bruno. Questions or comments after Ms. Dawkins provides a brief yet learned explanation?
So, city staff needs to be able to drive equipment across property owned by the Forest Preserve District of Kane County to access a sanitary sewer in need of repair. The Forest Preserve District is requiring a limited access license agreement. The agreement has been reviewed by the city attorney, and we have Superintendent Manguscum with us this evening to answer any additional questions you may have.
Questions for the city administrator or our superintendent? This is known as a LA. It's a limited access license agreement. How you doing, Mr. City Attorney?
Good stuff.
There's no questions? Alderman Kilburg?
What are we hoping to accomplish there? What is the need for the access?
Sure.
Are we going to larger sewer line there? Or?
No, the right to the south of where we're going to be entering the property, the creek crosses right through there, and the sanitary sewer has a crossing there, and there's some significant infiltration that is getting into the sanitary sewer from that creek. So we need to get vehicles in there and be able to, not sure right now if we're going to completely replace the pipe or if we're going to be able to seal off the joints that are leaking until we can line it.
Have we done a scope there?
Mm-hmm, correct. Yeah, so.
Good, thank you.
Anyone else from the dais? We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Item 4E is to consider a draft resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with Mechanical Incorporated at a cost of $609,000 and allow the city administrator to approve up to $60,900 in change orders for a total not to exceed amount of $669,900. Motion by McGowan. Seconded by Burghardt. Ms. Dawkins?
Okay, so the fiscal year 20 capital budget had funds allocated for the replacement and installation of 6 pumps throughout the wastewater treatment plant, 4 solid flow meters, and a polymer feed unit. These items were combined into one bid package. We received 4 bids. The low bid was submitted by Mechanical Inc. in the amount of $609,000. Mechanical Inc. was the mechanical contractor during the 2004 Phase 2 expansion of the wastewater treatment plant. Staff is also recommending a 10% contingency be included in the overall not-to-exceed amount for any unforeseen field changes that may occur. Obviously, any of those changes would require approval by myself prior to being applied to the contingency. Again, I defer specific questions to Superintendent Manguscum.
Questions for either the city administrator or the superintendent regarding item 4E?
I might as well ask another question.
Alderman Gilbert, yes.
What would potentially be some of the change orders that we might anticipate? We have 4 bids. We've got a low bid. We have 2 other bids, though, that if in fact the change order comes into play, actually the other companies, if in fact they didn't come forward with any change orders, would actually be under the current bid.
Sure.
What safeguards do we have that we don't have a low bid and then all of a sudden we get hit with change orders? I mean, when I was with the school district, quite often that was always the other shoe that would drop, that we'd get change orders that were unanticipated. And it makes you sort of wonder if really you're getting gamed a little bit as it relates to it. Could you talk to me a little bit about how Public Works sort of deals with this and how you prevent abuse?
Sure. The way I see it is the way that we presented the bid package, it was very much apples to apples. What may come down as a change order on something like this is if they pull a pump and now all of a sudden we see that the electrical wiring has been is in dire need of replacement. Something like that would be cause for a change order. If there was some additional piping, maybe that would make sense now that we've got everything apart. It would vary, but what we did in the bid package is really try to get this down to an apples to apples bid. I just can't foresee what exactly we would need in a change order, but it's always best for me to, for us as a city to be able to have that contingency if something does need to be added on to the cost.
How do we assess a change order? Let's say, for instance, a change order would come in. How do we go about assessing it? There may be some areas that we don't have a lot of expertise in.
Sure.
How do we determine whether or not it's a legitimate request? You know, my wife, if she takes the car to the garage to get an oil change, she could come back with a $3,000 bill because they're going to do the brakes, they're going to do everything. I mean, how do you prevent abuse as it relates to change orders, and how do we use staff expertise to
Well,
to, prevent-
let's say it is electrical. We do have, our own electric department can come in and take a look at it and advise. Our superintendent, Hal Wright, would be, or any of his, supervisors would be our first call to
Sure.
come down and take a look at something like that. There's also numerous other people that we work with on a regular basis that would also have good electrical experience that I could call up and bounce
Get a second
ideas off
opinion.
of them. Piping, those kind of things, we've got a lot of experience in-house, just within the sewer department. And Mike Martins has a lot of experience out at the water plant, and his 30-some years of experience. So it's those type of things that I would rely on our staff and some outside contractors that I know and trust that, would steer us in the right direction. So,
Good. Thanks, Bob.
sure.
Anyone else from the dais? Questions for the superintendent? We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Scouts, any questions to what you've clearly enjoyed this evening? Otherwise, we can visit after the meeting as well if you'd prefer.
Seems the latter.
I think I have,
Seems to be the latter.
yeah. I'm sorry, I can read you, who's this guy? Yeah, this guy here, he's here for our security.
Muscle.
Muscle, no. Anyone else before we ask for a motion to adjourn? Just a reminder, on the Monday, the 27th, there will not be a meeting. We reviewed all the items that are coming forward, and none are so pressing that we have to pull everybody in on the 27th. So unless there's an objection, you are also notified. If you think about it, send an email to Rich Babica. Today's his birthday. With that, a motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Bruno. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. We are adjourned, folks.